I do have a meditation practice. I'd love to say I do it every day. I don't do it every day. Wordle is something I do every day.
You talk about it privately. We talk about it publicly. This is the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered podcast. Welcome again to the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered podcast. I'm your host, Wiggy.
Hey, what up, Dwigs?
Crazy. What's going on, my friend?
Just basking in the afterglow of that great conversation we just had.
Yeah, man. We had Greg Geilman, so president and CEO of DOMO Real Estate. You and I get to interview a lot of really, really interesting people with lots of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'll say authenticity. I think that's a good word. Lead us in. Tell everybody about this interview.
Yeah, it was great. I'll give my last note first. Probably one of the most thoughtful leaders we've interviewed. At least that was my experience in the conversation so far in doing 150 plus episodes. Talked about quitting his full-time job in the Great Recession to parachute into real estate and how people thought he was nuts. His three-pronged approach to leadership. It's not what you think, kids. I promise. The power of importance of your circle and who you surround yourself with. He's a former technologist. We got his thoughts on AI. Once again, you are going to be surprised at his answer. One of the most authentic and thoughtful conversations we've had on the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered. You are going to dig it. Put it in your ears, kids.
Greg, welcome to the show. We are very excited to have you on the show. You know, for viewers and listeners, we got to chat with Greg a little bit in the green room. You've got quite an amazing story, which I'm sure you'll share some of today.
Yeah.
This continues our series of top agents and teams around the country sharing how they've gotten the success that they have. So let's start, Greg. Just give them a little background on you, how long you've been in real estate, why you got into this crazy industry with the rest of us, a little bit of background to where you are today. So.
Yeah, well, thanks guys for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here.
I got licensed originally in 2006, but I had a job for a while. And so 4 years later in 2010, I decided to quit my job in probably the worst real estate market of my lifetime. And everyone thought I was crazy. Literally, as I was giving my notice at my tech job, the president kind of uncontrollably laughed at me under his breath, like, oh, you're going into real estate?
Like a scoffing laugh, like,
yeah, you'll be back. Yeah. Anyway, it was a calculated risk. I had gotten married and could get health benefits through my wife. And as it turns out, I was rookie of the year, and I didn't know what a good market or a bad market was. So I just worked really hard, and turns out I'm okay at this thing. So.
That's
and
awesome.
You've got you built your own company now as well. And how long have you been doing that?
Yeah. So my business partner, Rob Friedman, and I have been doing it for a little bit over 10 years together.
Wow.
And we formed DOMO Real Estate, an independent brokerage, a couple years ago, but we've had the DOMO group, a real estate team within other brokerages for 10 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
And we're 34 agents now, with a goal of being 50 by the end of the year.
Okay.
That's great. Good for you. We love seeing how people break out, and it's one of the things that this industry really provides an opportunity is how you can go be your own entrepreneur in your own business, and there's no limitation on how big or small or whatever you want to be in this business. I love that. The fact that your former boss laughed at you, I think, is ironic.
Yeah. First of all, we need to let's get like there aren't even newspapers anymore, so I don't know where we would find a newspaper clipping, but we should get one about your success and then mail it to that person.
Well, it's funny.
Little love note. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. What's funny is he lives in Manhattan Beach, so he sees our success all over the place, and I'm sure he's really proud of me now. It wasn't like you're a loser kind of thing.
It was more like, really? Yeah.
But I will
going into real estate in this recession, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
I will tell you, that's been kind of the story of my success. I mean, I'm a little smart and a hard worker, but I really feel like I've failed forward and failed fast. And sometimes I make decisions like this going independent, and because all my previous brokers have said there's no money in brokerage. Maybe that's because they're wanting to keep me, but a decision like that is like, oh, well, I guess we'll find out how this works out. But I've bet on myself fairly successfully with calculated risks over the years. And this felt like the right time. Rob and I looked at each other and we're like, let's give this a shot. So in Indy it was.
Indy it was. Yeah. How did you make that decision? Like you got a, air quotes, stable tech job, which is kind of funny, right? Because when you have a job, you get fired any day, right? So how stable is it really? But that's still a radical leap to go from getting a paycheck every 2 weeks to a paycheck when I don't know when, right? What was that thought process like for you? Or unpack the decision-making process to go independent with your brokerage. When you're going through those big decision processes, what's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that I really, did all the research and figured it all out and then
meditated on the mountaintop for 2 weeks. Yeah,
I did do that.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Honestly, I remember a specific moment when I was working at this advertising agency and I was their, network admin and sysadmin. And I had worked my butt off that year, just, staying late and doing overtime and grinding, commuting an hour each way to the office. Ugh. And I had borrowed $10,000 from my stepdad to get my first townhouse. And this was, I think, 99 or 2000, something like that. I paid $149,000 for it. And everyone told me, Greg, be really careful. We're in a bubble. Don't get in over your head. Make sure you can afford your payments. And I wish I was less careful because that property proceeded to double in value. And as I was commuting an hour, sitting, fighting traffic every day, that little bugger was making as much money as I was just sitting, just
sitting there being a townhouse,
being a townhouse. Yeah. And so that really caught my attention. And that's what made me, that year I worked really hard, busted my butt. And at December came around and the CFO came over to me real proud and handed me an envelope with, I think it was $500. It might have been $300, but either $300 or $500. And that just kind of showed me that even if you would double my salary, I think I was making $72,000 at the time. And even if you double it, I just had bigger goals for myself and wanted more, freedom and independence and flexibility. And so that moment, thank goodness that moment happened, it really caught my attention. And so I decided if I want to work really hard at something, I want at least a portion of the benefit to come back to me.
Yeah. So James, one note, we need to make sure we talk about bonuses this year because we don't want that to happen to us. And then two, like,
pretty sure you're in charge of that too, by the way. So,
I said we.
Yeah,
it's, you have those moments, right? Those, I call them moments of clarity because I don't have too many of them. But there's those little vignettes, those life vignettes where you're like, yeah, that I was feeling this anyway, but this cemented the decision. Was that sort of what happened for you when that CFO popped by with the DoorDash check or whatever?
Exactly. And no disrespect to them.
No, for sure. Yeah.
I was there for 5.5 years. It served me really well.
It just didn't feed your entrepreneurial soul, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I was meant for something different on this planet than, servers. So.
I'll throw one comment in here and then we'll go to our rapid fire. I was at, I do a lot of keynote speaking around the country, and I was having lunch with someone the other day, and this individual came up to me for advice, and she was asking about, like, I have this full-time job, and then I have my real estate license. I'm really passionate about real estate, but I just haven't been able to make it. And she's like, what would you do? I was like, quit your job. Just gave her the answer real fast. It's like, you will half-ass everything if you don't focus all your attention on this, and you're worried about getting a paycheck. You're going to do the things that you wouldn't normally do. It'll push you to do it. I think there's an element of that fear that has to drive you to make yourself successful in this business. I see so many people that there's not something pushing them as hard as it needs to, because this is a tough business. Like, you've got to work really hard and be comfortable with being denied and pick up the phone and keep going and work that consistency. So, kudos to you to do that, which is where I was going with it. in the worst real estate market. And Keith and I met each other in that time frame.
Yep.
Over a cocktail or 10. And I mean, that shit was tough.
It was rough.
2010 was not fun. So
when I got into the industry, people told me you need a year's worth of living expenses in the bank. I think today I've heard more people saying 6 months, and I think that's a lie. Like, I think that's potentially misleading people. Like, you should have, because we don't want commission breath, right? Like, we know everyone who walks into a listing appointment desperate and willing to do anything. And I luckily work in an area where it's very high IQ, very high net worth, and people can smell that a mile away.
Right.
So
yeah, good point.
I got follow up to that, but let's get to the rapid fire first. So I'm a pretty avid reader, podcast consumer. Like to fill my brain up. So your favorite book, podcast ever this year, lately, the one you gift the most, whatever. But what would you want me to read or listen to?
Yeah, book wise, I really enjoy Exactly What to Say in Real Estate.
It's a great one.
And podcast, I love your guys' podcast, of course. And Team OS is on my regular listening list with Ethan Butte. Oh,
I've not listened. I mean, I've heard it before, but not religiously. It's a great reminder. I loved his book. I really loved his book. Great call out.
So mine is, I'm trying to get this out of people. I'm trying to see if there's a through line of all these successful people. So I'm asking this one, which is like, what's a daily ritual or habit that you can't live without? Like, that you just methodical about every day?
Yeah. Come on, SoCal guy. It's got to be good. If it doesn't have like bean sprouts and macrame and a little bit of meditation or something, like I want it. Tell us your morning ritual.
Yeah, I do have a meditation practice. I have a room in my house dedicated with candles and crap. I'd love to say I do it every day. I don't do it every day. Wordle is something I do every day. Religiously, without fail.
Keep the brain active. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that I would not be as successful or as a presence in my office for my agents if I didn't have some sort of meditation practice every day.
Yeah. Someday, James, really cool. We gotta get like a guru on here to talk about meditation.
And it's like, 5 to 20 minutes a day. Yeah. Usually 10 to 20 minutes a day. Occasionally, all I can squeeze in is 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a book. They did a bunch of science on meditation, and 12 minutes seems to be the sweet spot.
Ooh, I love that.
I'll send you the book. You'll dig it for sure.
I was actually meditating more like 30 to 60 minutes a day. And I have a teacher who said, I don't want you doing that. You're the kind of guy who would use that to try to get somewhere. And I don't want you getting anywhere.
Yeah. It's not a competition. Like, I did more minutes than you in the chair, right? Yeah. No, that's not what it's about. Anyway,
every time I try to meditate, I fall asleep. It's weird.
Well, that's how we all start. Yeah. That's how we all start. Yeah. All right, let's get to the technical stuff. Tell us a little bit about your team. What area do you serve? The obligatory 2024 production. Just help frame up for the listener your team, where you are, what size, scope, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder and CEO of DOMO Real Estate with Rob Friedman. We work in the lovely South Bay of Los Angeles, so Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, and Palos Verdes surrounding areas.
Totally inexpensive areas.
Yeah, low average sales price. Mm-hmm. What is your average sales price?
What is it? By the way.
Yeah, 1.9 million is our average sale price.
Someone in Kansas just drove into a ditch, by the way.
I know people who sell real estate in Cranberry, Pennsylvania, and
there you go.
That's different.
It's different.
Yeah. So what was your production? Give us the 2024 and just a little bit of team structure, like how big is it, et cetera.
Yeah, 2024, our goal was 200 million, and we hit 168, I think, 166 or 168. We were 26 agents at the time, and we had just gone independent a year earlier as a brokerage.
Good for you.
Yeah, 2025, we've already got 170.
Dang.
million in volume and the same number of units. So we're on track to have our best year ever.
Congrats.
Good for you.
Congrats. In a year in which most people are not, right? Yeah.
And we've had some pretty big misses too. Like if we just were, a little bit earlier or a little bit faster, it would have been even more knock your socks off. And we're 34 agents currently.
All right.
How's it structured? Talk about your team. How do you guys give us the kind of details on who does what? Is it departmentalized? Do you have a lead follow-up process? Like, give us the background on how you structured and built this thing.
Yeah. So I came to the South Bay and I didn't have the advantage of saying I grew up here my whole life or my parents were in real estate. So I really needed to lean on my tech background for an advantage. And so acquired some domain names early on. I own LosAngelesHomes.com, ManhattanBeachHomes.com, RedondoBeachHomes.com, a bunch of other ones. But our current kind of main lead gen is through, Google and Realtor.com and sort of the typical stuff. Our structure of
you said Google is Google a primary for you? Do you have is it mostly organic? Are you doing CPC? Like what's the...
Yeah, we do a lot of PPC. We've spent an obscene amount of money on organic and it just never really got off the ground. I think because Los Angeles is such a big place
spread out.
And Manhattan Beach is such a small place that Manhattan doesn't really have the authority that a large website with a lot of traffic does. So it's really niche-y here. And so we've found our niches. We're, usually, and I have 3 or 4 websites. So we're usually a few spots in the search results in the top 10 or top 20. But yeah, my goal as a lead generator is to have between a half and a full lead per agent per day. So if we've got 25 agents on the team, I'm trying to generate between 13 and 25 leads a day.
Okay, I got some questions. So first of all, super high level. Let's pretend someone's listening in, I don't know, wherever, Oregon. And they're like, sure, brilliant tech guy started early in pay-per-click. Shocker, he's successful. There's no way I could do pay-per-click now. It's too saturated. There's too much noise. Is that true? Like, is the pay-per-click, if you were starting organically today in a city, can you get on the pay-per-click game or is it too late?
Yeah, that's absolutely 100% false.
That's what I thought.
Definitely get on that. You have a long road to hoe if you're trying to rank organically and do SEO, especially in an AI world now. But PPC, if you get a good PPC person, you can be generating leads tomorrow.
Right. So just in case, PPC just means pay-per-click.
Advertising.
It's just you're spending money for Google to put you at the top so that people will click on you more. When you see the little sponsored thing at the top when you do a Google search, that's pay-per-click, kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not too late. If any of these are out of bounds, you just let me know. But what's your pay-per-click budget today? And what was it when you started? And if someone were starting today, what would you recommend? So that's 3-part question.
Yeah, starting
and
today.
Ballpark's fine. Yep.
It depends on how many agents' mouths you have to feed.
Sure.
We just opened a new location in Orange County because an agent who's been with us for many, many years, super successful top agent on our team, he and his wife moved to Newport Beach. And so, of course, he wants to stay within the Domo ecosphere. And so he's like, how can we make this work? And I said, well, let's get a website and let's get some PPC going. And now he's got a couple agents. And so, we started, I think, with $1,000 a month. And now we're, our total lead gen budget is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm told,
but for everybody listening, it's relative.
Well, and
you grew into that in your price point, so it's going to be.
And most importantly, he just launched a new office recently in Los Angeles, which is not cheap, and he's spending $1,000 a month to get it off the ground today, right? And then that'll be more later. But you can start now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no. Now we're spending probably close to $10,000 a month, which I know for some people is just ridiculously high. And I know with some people that's ridiculously low.
Right. Right. But you didn't start there. You built the systems, you built the infrastructure, you built the lead follow-up, you built the accountability culture. And over time, you don't start there, you end there, or you get there and then you raise the bar. How do you, oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. We actually just are starting. We're very slow to implement accountability. You mentioned accountability. So I wanted to just pause
please.
on that a second, because that's an area where I would say my leadership lacked, to be honest. I know team leaders out there that are just militant.
Hammer.
You got to be in the office at 8 a.m. calling the leads. And if you're 5 minutes late, they kick you out, and there's standing meetings at, 3 days a week and da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that guy, and I don't want to be that guy. So we would just like supply enough leads. And I think I heard you on a previous podcast laugh at guys like me who are like, if there's money in the bank, we're doing okay. That's fine. And
yes, you have heard me laugh at that.
That's this guy. So anyway, we just implemented a really fun, cool new thing, which is like, you have to make 50 calls a week in order to be on leads the next week. And I know that sounds so obvious, right? Like you got to call the leads that we give you. But our agents are like, hey, I had a really busy week. Can you make an exception? And I'm like, no, you got to call the leads. It's fine if you're busy. Like, that's great if you're busy. That means you're either doing something with family, or you've got escrows going. And so you're working with other clients, or you're in the dentist chair, but don't claim. And I can't trust that agents aren't going to claim leads when they can't follow up with them. So we just now figured out this cool new thing where, like, if you want to qualify for claiming leads this week, you need to have made 50 calls. And it doesn't even need to be 50 calls to leads. You could call your grandma 50 times for all I care.
That what I love about
you're starting accountability though. Like you're moving it down the road of like, there needs to be some level of, I mean, you're spending money. And the reason why you made this comment earlier, about brokerage, the reason why the word broke is in brokerage is because of, candidly, a lack of accountability. I think personally, I'm pretty direct about it. Brokers don't oversee what their agents are doing, and that's not to hit on agents, but it requires consistency of doing things in order to be successful. So,
and you found your version of accountability that works for you, right? I think we think accountability is a sort of one size fits all, right? It's this stand up, kick you in the butt meeting that, Glenn Ross-esque, right? Like shitty meeting that no one wants to be in, right? That is what has been perpetuated as air quotes accountability. You've made it to where it fits with your personal belief modality, your culture of your company. Make 50 calls. I don't care if you call your grandma 50 times, right? But log it in your CRM. I'm going to make you do the habit. And then after that, you hopefully will start doing the right things, but you have to commit to the habit, and then the rest of it will hopefully take care of itself. And that's a beautiful approach too. And if you tried to be the other one, your agents would probably revolt and leave. And so
it's just not authentic. I can't do that. And I preach authenticity to them. It's one of our 5 core values. And so if I'm coming in saying, you gotta it doesn't work. So we've got as far as our structure of our company goes, we've got an admin, a virtual assistant, a transaction coordinator, a director of operations, who's awesome, Danielle, and then
shout out Danielle.
Fractional CTO and sales manager coach.
What is a fractional CTO?
Yeah, it's so I wear many hats. I'm like the janitor and the president all in one. I'm the fireman, I'm the therapist. I literally have tissue in my office. So,
of course.
So and Danielle
and
probably
sometimes
should.
It's for you.
Yeah. But I see the future a little bit, and I can't keep being everything to everyone. And so I needed someone who could answer the follow-up boss questions and the Sierra Interactive questions and the Slack questions.
Smart. Yeah. So it's really
all right. Let me ask you that real quick, because you just made a couple points. I just want to get one thing in here, and we'll go back to that. Realtor.com was your other lead source. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that is that secondary to PPC, or is that a primary?
We spend a good amount of money with Realtor.com. Ops City, Market VIP, all of that.
Okay, all of that. Okay, so that's
Home
another
Light.
lead source for you. You mentioned Follow Up Boss, obviously is your CRM platform that you guys use. Seems to be a common thread there, by the way, with all the top teams. You said Sierra Interactive. Is that your website provider that you use then?
It is, yeah. And they also have a CRM, which we left Follow Up Boss to use for a while and then went back to Follow Up Boss because it's the best.
Better. Yeah.
Interesting. And does Realtor.com integrate into Follow Up Boss?
It does.
He has a CTO now, James. He doesn't know.
Like,
He's got a CTO. He's got to check. He's got to find out.
Yeah. Well, I was asking because Follow Up Boss is owned by Zillow, and then that was why the question was not loaded, but I was curious if it does integrate so that the Realtor.com leads still feed into that program or not. So
it does. Not perfectly, but it does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I want to ask you this question. Like, how do you differentiate yourself from the thousands, I'm assuming it's thousands of other agents in the area or other brokerages? You started as independent. Like, it's hard. Like, you have to figure out how to craft your own area. So what does that look like? How do you guys present yourself to consumers where they're choosing an independent, smaller company versus some big national player of some type? So
yeah, great question. I tell people that my secret weapon is just I'm a really nice guy, and that seems to go a long way. There's a lot of can I say jackoffs? And
yeah,
sure, whatever you want.
In real estate, and I think it's a great start if you call people back.
Wow.
If you do what you say you're going to do, and you're not a jerk. So a lot of that, I think I would point to our team culture. I'm really, really proud of our team culture and the agents that are attracted to DOMO Real Estate, the clients who are attracted to DOMO Real Estate. There's something about them. They're, our core values. They're authentic. They're hardworking. They're extremely helpful. Like from the top down in our company, everyone is extremely helpful. So if you were to go and stop someone, interrupt what they're doing and say, hey, can you help me with something? 99.9% of the time, they're going to drop what they're doing. And that goes from me all the way to, the people who are,
so
stocking coffee.
You're really picky about who you bring on your team, and they have to have a certain type of personality that matches. So
And that only comes from failure, right? Like we've made a couple mistakes along the way. And, now we have a process in our interview process where a couple agents in the brokerage or on the team get to have a conversation with the person we're interviewing. That way, when someone just shows up at our team meeting, everybody's not like, who the hell is this?
This is the new guy. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is part of my accountability as a leader. As I've tripped up and failed a couple times, and now we really protect our team culture, fiercely.
So, as someone who started as an independent agent and had your success, rookie of the year, and then you build a team, and then now you have a brokerage. As you grow, how do you preserve that culture? Right? Because it's much easier to preserve the culture when it's an army of one. When it's an army of 40, or I think that was your target number by the end of the year, right? Or 50 or 50. Yeah. So at 50, it's harder. How do you maintain that culture as you grow?
Yeah, it's a great question. God, I don't know is the answer.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
I am a little afraid of scale, which probably doesn't serve me as the number one place I want to win is the bank. But I'm involved in the interview process. That helps. We don't just bring on anybody. We have a place for new agents, new licensees to come. We have a mentorship program, which we stumbled through for a couple of years and now have something that I think works really well. As far as keeping our culture, we have events. We go to LA Kings games together. We volunteer together. We have programs within our company that really help people. We're not just interested in their production, which is meaningful to me. Yesterday, I actually had a 3-hour block on my calendar to call DOMO agents and just say hi and check in. And I did. I called people, and some of them were like, "Hey, what do you need? What's up?"
Right.
I'm like, I know normally when you see my name pop up on your phone, it's either you're calling to give me a listing lead, or what have I done wrong? But I'm just like, hey, just wanted to check in and take a moment. Sometimes I know I'm really busy for months at a time, and I just wanted to see how you're doing. Remember that personal goal you set at the end of last year? Not the financial goal, not the units goal, but I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to have more time with my wife and kids. How's that going?
Yeah.
Do you think that comes from, we talked a little bit just about in the green room a little bit. I mean, you are very authentic. I get the gist in the short amount of time we've gotten to speak, but you're very vulnerable about like who you are. And I think that makes you connect to people. I'm assuming that's also that's what attracts a lot of people. You mentioned authenticity a few times during this. What does that mean to you? Authenticity? Like what is that in your view of how you interact with agents or talk with them? What does that mean? Talk to us about that.
Such a great question. For me, it means being courageous, because we all walk around, I think, with masks. We all walk around with fears of, is this person going to like me, or how I want to win this piece of business. And for me, authenticity means like taking a deep breath and just being willing to be myself, because then the people who really want to be a part of my brokerage or want to work with us as clients, if I'm authentic, then I know that I don't have to like remember which lie I was telling and who do I need to be if I'm just myself. Cause like, I've got tattoos and I, show up to appointments sometimes in jeans and a t-shirt, and, if they hire me, they know what they're getting.
Right.
Did it take you a while to get comfortable being that in this sort of world where, and like I can say this because we live in California too, where there's a lot of fakeness. How did you get to that place?
Come on.
How did you get to that place of being comfortable with your authentic self? Like what was that journey like?
When I quit my job and I got into real estate, from day one, I wore slacks, long sleeve button down shirt, and nice shoes and a belt. And for years, that was my uniform. And again, because I didn't grow up in the South Bay, I grew up in Los Angeles, but not in this particular pocket where I was focusing my business. And I didn't come from a pedigree of, my parents didn't own a real estate brokerage, which a lot of folks around here that are really successful, they're second or third generation. So I knew intuitively that I needed something to boost my confidence. When I walk into an appointment, I've got a tech background and I'm professionally dressed. And I did that for years. My business partner, on the other hand, he's been doing this, I think, 40 years now. And he wears flip-flops and shorts to appointments. And that's his thing. He's selling a lifestyle, and that works. So when he shows up dressed like that, and I show up wearing jeans and a shirt like I'm wearing now, we're not selling New York.
Right.
We're selling beach, living. And the way I call DOMO Real Estate, the way I refer to it, is approachable luxury. And that's how people really seem to relate to us.
I'm writing that down.
I have one follow-up just because you mentioned this, which I wanted to ask. You said you struggled through you struggled through having a program for new agents, but then you have a mentorship program that you figured out. What does that look like? What does that mentorship program mean for a new agent that comes onto the team? Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, we used to have it so that an agent would get assigned, a new licensee would get assigned a senior agent, and that senior agent would do everything. They would teach them how to sell. They would teach them how to prospect. They would teach them the contracts. They would teach them, they would shadow them at open houses. They would shadow them, at appointments, yada, 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 yada. And I would kind of leave it up to them to negotiate what percentage of the commission, would the mentee get a portion of the mentor's deals? Would the mentor get a piece of the mentee's deals? And it got really messy. It got really complicated. I got a lot of therapy and fireman sessions in my office. And I got really tired of having those conversations. And so what we did, our CTO and Danielle and I got together and we said, what would solve this? And what solved it is the mentor gets paid less, but the only thing they have to do is teach them the nuts and bolts of the contract and how to do a deal. And they're there as their wingman to help them through deals. Now the mentee can certainly go shadow if they want, but that's not a paid gig. That's like you getting your education through osmosis. The mentor now isn't so resentful that they're spending so many hours and hours and hours. And now that mentee goes to Rob, myself, Danielle, or our coach for all the sales and, the thing that was taking a really
the background.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's worked well for us for about a year now.
Nice.
So someone complains.
Right. Until it breaks, right? As soon as you think you've got your arms around it, just wait. You seem to have this really interesting balance between, and I just jotted this down so I didn't forget, these are my words, not yours, but this interesting balance between flow and then systems. And how do you marry those two, right? Like, I get a sense you want it to sort of be this organic, kind of free-flowing environment, but you also understand the need and importance for systems. So how do you marry those two in whether it's in your team or in the brokerage or in your life, whatever? How do you marry those two things?
Such a great question. And I don't know that I have a clear answer to it.
It's okay.
I surround myself with smart people. And I think that is, I can't take all the credit for everything. But I also, if I'm, someone has to be at the helm of the ship. And if I'm the leader, I need to decide what kind of job I want that to be. Right. And do I want to be, number one at EXP and the life that comes with that? Or do I want to, run and own an independent local brokerage and have a good time? And I choose the latter. So,
right.
I need to, I'm really just starting. I mean, we've been doing this 15 years and I've heard people talk about knowing their numbers. I coached with Lars like a decade ago and he was always pressing, know your numbers. And I don't know my numbers, frankly, but I just hired, I don't know if you know Andy Mulholland with Simple Numbers, but a bookkeeping company for real estate teams. He's going to help me learn my numbers. I should know gross profit margin and stuff like that. But I will say the whole, is there money in the bank method has worked for us. Right. It just makes me tighter than I need to be. I'm told by other team leaders and broker owners around the country that I run really lean. Like we have one VA, one TC, one admin, and one director of operations. So 2 staff really. And we're going to do hopefully 200 million this year. Yeah.
Right. That's very lean. Yeah. And you may not know your numbers, but you know everyone's birthday, you know their personal goals, right? Like there's value in, you know some numbers, maybe just not gross profit margin, right?
Yeah. I don't know everyone's birthday, but that's a really great point. Gary Lundholm once told me, and I'm going to screw it up, but nobody knows you care until they know how much you care.
How much you know until they know how much you care.
That. Yeah. And basically what he was telling me was, man, your people are everything. And it's so true. I'm going to go into the office later and I'm going to smile because I'm going to see people that I really enjoy going to work to see.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I love the attitude and persona you bring to it. Not persona, but just how you're genuinely love what you do and you've got joy in it and you love helping people. And that's a great trait. Because to your point, there are a lot of people that are numbers based and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just a slightly different approach to it. Yeah.
I'm definitely
I want to ask you this.
an unlikely broker owner. I didn't graduate college. I
actually
crashed.
We ask
and
this
burned.
Question all the time.
Go ahead.
We ask this question all the time, my friend, and there's not a single story where somebody was a likely candidate for real estate or broker. I did want to ask you this because you do your background in technology is, you came from tech sector and sounds like you had it was IT related or something else, IT related. Okay. So, this should be right down your alley then. You obviously, understand technology probably better than 99% of the people in residential real estate from your background. So like, talk to us about AI and your perspective on this, having, a tenure in that space and like how that plays out in real estate or even what you're doing in your own team with it. Like, give us your thoughts on AI and how you're incorporating it or not, or what you see as a threat or not. Like, what's your perspective there?
Yeah, I'm pretty much of the perspective, like my hair is burning, the sky's falling. And it's like AI is going to replace every job in the universe. And I don't know, we've had so many of those in my short career and even more before I started in real estate, where it was the discount brokers and then it was Zillow. And then, I think real estate always has been and always will be, a people business. I feel so trite even saying that because we all know that, but like, if I can teach someone how to put their hand out and shake someone's hand and look them in the eyes and really embody care, not like fake care, but really like actually care about this big transition that these people are interviewing you for. Because I've bought and sold real estate myself before I was licensed, and I've had good and great and horrible experiences myself. and so I don't take the role that we play lightly. I know that, we joke around that real estate agents are just a step above used car salesmen, but I take what we do very seriously. My big why, I discovered it, in a business planning session 2 years ago when I was in front of the room in front of our whole brokerage. And I shared a story about my past and how, coming back to my little apartment, and I would cross the threshold into my own private space. And all of a sudden my nervous system just relaxed. And I felt this like, I'm safe now. And I'd go out and fight the world and go to work and fight traffic and da-da-da-da-da. And then I come back to my space. And so that's if I can affect people's nervous system in that way, like I know we're just selling real estate, but it's meaningful.
Yeah.
It's meaningful.
If you would have said we're going to ask a technologist his thoughts on AI and the answer was going to be the human nervous system, right? But that's such a beautiful reminder of what we do, right? Like I've said this before. We manage people's emotions through one of the most stressful periods in their life. We just happen to monetize that through the sale of a home, but we don't actually sell a home. That's not possible. Like there's no script or dialogue that gets someone to buy a house who doesn't want to buy it, right? That doesn't exist. We don't air quotes sell homes. We shepherd people through a stressful transaction. That whole nervous system concept and approach that you're talking about, I think is accurate, beautiful, and the industry needs more of it. So keep hiring agents. Man. Keep hiring agents.
I heard at Inman in San Diego, someone from the stage said that AI is not going to replace people. It's a team member that you're going to bring onto your team. And I really liked that a lot. We're using it. We use Shiloh, for coaching and call rating and stuff. All the agents are using it in their own kind of personal life. I've toyed around with AI assistants and stuff, and not quite there yet, but I think it's coming. And I ask ChatGPT things all the time, work related and not work related, and I love that I can train the model to respond back in how I want to be talked to.
Yeah
Really
I love brilliant. It. Well, we wrap every episode, and you listen, so you probably know the question that's coming. What's one thing, if you were an agent or a team leader, that you feel like they should implement in their business today to affect change for 2025 and going into 2026?
Yeah, SOI, man. I want to. We've set up a task force at DOMO Real Estate, and I want to help the agents. I know this is really sacrilege for a lead generator to say, focus on your own business. But I really feel like agents are going to want to stay with us. I'm trying to build a business that if I were an agent on my team, I would never want to leave. Right. And so I don't want to just be relegated to a buyer's agent or a listing specialist or a showing assistant. I want to know the full range of what we do. And so we're training our agents to throw events, to take their sphere out to lunch, to ask for referrals. I have not cracked the code on referral business, and I would love to learn how to do better with that.
I'm going to send you our most recent podcast.
You will want to listen.
He gave us his blueprint, and it's really, 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 really
awesome. It's one of the best I've actually ever heard. So like hands down, it's a great one to listen to. So, Greg, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the success and your vulnerability. And I love the fact that you're just being who you are and talking about these things. You're like, we haven't figured some of this stuff out, but I love that. We need more of that. I think people resonate with that a lot. So keep being you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. The best compliment I can give you is I'd come work for you tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I mean it. Like that.
You're hired.
Yeah, well, you might want to do the background check first, Greg, but I appreciate it. Greg, thank you for your vulnerability, something the industry needs more of. I'm just echoing what James said. Thank you for a really thoughtful conversation.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
What's better than cold calling? Subscribing to our podcast. Do it now so you never miss an episode.